Welcome back. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about literacy assessments. Assessment is the process of gathering information on student performance for instructional decision-making. Assessment involves the evaluation of children's achievement through observation and conferencing to provide feedback and set learning goals. Individual evaluation guides children through literacy assessment to become aware of their own strengths and abilities. Young children need constant guidance and support from teachers, parents, and peers through collaboration, conversation, and conferencing to accomplish literacy goals. Children learn self-monitoring of reading and writing skills through assessment practices such as conferencing, peer collaboration, and self-assessment. Through systematic assessments, teachers help children to be aware of their own literacy skills, learning goals, and areas for improvement. Documentation of children's work is collected over time to show progress in a variety of literacy areas. Children need guidance and scaffolding to become independent and strategic readers and writers. Teachers are role models for literacy enthusiasm, reading and writing strategies, self-awareness, and self-assessment. Critical thinking is also an important part of assessment and benefits individuals. Informal assessments include observations, miscue analysis, checklists, running records, and portfolios are administered frequently through the year and focuses on the learning process. Formal assessments include norm reference and criterion reference tests, mastery learning, and standardized testing are usually administered 2 or 3 times a year and focus on product or end result. Formative assessment occurs frequently and document a child's learning process. Summative assessments are records of a child's mastery of specific skills. Educators must understand the individual needs of each child to plan effective literacy instruction. Continuous assessment is necessary because child's strengths, needs, and perspectives change often throughout the early years. Teachers should build a respectful and trusting relationship with each child so that the assessment process is natural and authentic. Positive feedback and sincere praise from the teacher and peers are essential to building the self-esteem of children. So join me, Ms. Trott, as we learn all about literacy assessments. Assessment is an integral part of creative teaching and learning. Developmentally appropriate practices are important parts of the assessment process. Teachers design curriculum and assessment responsive to developmentally appropriate practices. Teachers learn about their students' development and cultural diversity through assessment practices such as parent-teacher interviews, conferencing, and home visitation evaluations. Culturally relevant literature based upon children's linguistic and cultural backgrounds creates a meaningful connection between school and home. Parents should be actively engaged in their children's assessments. Student achievement must be effectively monitored in a variety of ways to provide a complete picture of a child's learning. Each teacher designs assessment plans according to the needs of each child. Assessments include informal and formal testing and are necessary for fully measuring a student's literacy development over time. Assessment is an integral part of any balanced literacy program that requires a continual inquiry process used by teachers to make informed instructional decisions. The interactive assessment process involves informal assessment of current knowledge and skills, observation by the teacher, self-assessment by the student, teacher-student-peer interactions, and formal assessments to address literacy strengths and needs. Educators need to utilize formal and informal assessment methods to evaluate their student needs. Assessment is ongoing and tied to instruction. Teachers adapt their lessons according to the individual needs based upon assessments. Assessment can be formal, including diagnostic information, standardized tests like norm reference tests, and placement criteria, or informal, including observation, anecdotal records, and portfolio assessments. Teachers need to evaluate students as well as measure or assess their learning process using different methods or tools to procure students' understanding of facts or procedures. Assessment, quality teaching, and learning are seamlessly bound, as one is connected to the other to ensure achievement through authentic assessment. Literacy assessment criteria are used as a communication tool for teachers, students, parents, and administrators. Authentic assessment focuses on 4 criteria of effective assessment: authentic instruction, continuous over time, focused on strengths, and varied selection. To be authentic, assessment is embedded into the teaching and learning process. Continuous and ongoing assessment guides instruction and provides evaluation information for the teacher, child, and parents. Focusing on the strengths of each child accelerates literacy development and reading and writing motivation. Multi-layered assessments that are performance-based and developmentally appropriate provide a holistic view of the child's literacy progress. Frequent assessments throughout the year ensures that instruction is aligned with the literacy needs of students. Reading levels and abilities of young children may change drastically over a short period of time. Reading strengths and needs should be evaluated often through assessment tools such as reading running records, miscue analysis, informal reading inventories, and assessment of reading fluency. Running records offer a quick assessment of a child's oral reading. A set of conventions is used to mark a reader's miscues on a form or blank sheet of paper. Miscues are responses that are different than what is in the text. The purpose of running records is to determine a reader's strategies, strengths, and needs to confirm that the child is reading an appropriate text. Another assessment is to determine a student's reading level. Strategies, strengths, and needs is an informal reading inventory. The main difference between informal reading inventories and running records is the purpose. Informal reading inventories are used for assessment several times a year, and running records are used during instruction and assessed weekly or monthly. An informal reading inventory is a collection of reading passages with word lists and comprehension questions. Portfolios of student work are often used in informal and formal assessments and can document a child's learning over time for a variety of tasks. Portfolio assessment is a collection of artifacts documenting a child's progress in literacy development throughout the year. This interactive process is often informal in nature and includes work that features children's strengths, interests, and areas for improvement. Work samples in a portfolio may include drawings, writing samples, artworks, photographs of projects and children at work, checklists, graphic organizers, book reports, and audio recordings of the child's oral readings, as well as discussion groups. 5 components to the portfolio are celebration, cognition, communication, cooperation, and competency. The literacy process involves intuition, imagination, problem solving, and critical thinking skills. Teachers should establish stimulating learning environments so that children can expand their imaginations and creativity. Integrating music, drama, interactive movement, and visual arts into literacy assessment allows children to demonstrate multiple ways of knowing. Now let's review what we've learned. Assessment is tied to instruction based on state and/or national standards in the early literacy classroom. Teachers assess frequently to adapt their literacy instruction and most effectively meet the needs of each child. In this episode, we discussed a variety of informal and formal assessments to evaluate children's knowledge and skills in reading and language arts. Informal assessments are introduced for analyzing children's literacy progress through cognitive, social-emotional, and physical contexts, which align with a holistic model of literacy. The interactive assessment cycle incorporates formal, informal, and self-assessment with interaction and observation. Both formal and informal assessment tools are necessary to fully measure students' growth in literacy and progress over time. Ongoing informal assessments and daily observations with feedback are key factors to obtain an authentic view of children's skills and abilities. 4 criteria of effective assessment are identified as authentic instruction, continuous over time, focused on strength, and varied selection. Matching readers to appropriate text is key to literacy success. As assessment tools, observation tasks include running records, letter identification, writing vocabulary, hearing and recording sounds and words, word tests, and concepts about print. Portfolio assessments are a collection of artifacts to document a child's learning progress over time and can be useful in all subject areas. A risk-free environment with a structured framework is important for the release of creativity and imagination during the assessment process to reinforce children's self-esteem, motivation, and confidence. A collaborative learning environment where each child's contributions are valued and measured is essential. Children prosper in a caring, literacy-rich learning environment. Allowing children the opportunity to respond to assessment tasks in multiple ways, using their strengths and multiple intelligences, provides authenticity and validation of the learning process. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thank you for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learned all about literacy assessments. See you next time.